Ha-won asks the little girl she is babysitting not to believe in Cinderella's story. She doesn't think any man is a prince in real life. While delivering pizza, she starts chasing a man who beats up some guys and takes a purse. She finds a little while later that Kang Ji-woon, whose face is hidden, is returning the purse to a lady those thugs stole it from. This makes her think of him as a rare gentleman. Park Hye-ji is upset that Kang Hyun-min is dating her friend. He's known to be a player and doesn't care for her feelings. Ji-woon turns up there to save Hye-ji as her friend, but Hyun-min, who is also his cousin, asks Ji-woon to stay away from Hanul house and the inheritance he deserves. Ha-won turns out to be a real-life Cinderella, whose stepsister Choi Yoo-na and her stepmother, Park Soo-gyong, make her do all errands in the house when her father is away. Meanwhile, Ha-won is looking for more part-time jobs to save more money for college. Lee Yoon-sung calls the three Kang cousins, Kang Hyun-min, Kang Ji-woon, and Kang Si-woo, to Hanul house after blackmailing them. They're invited to their grandpa, Chairman Kang Jong-doo's 5th wedding, but none of them want to attend it or tolerate each other. Lee remembers the day 1 year ago when he brought Ji-woon to the house. Ji-woon grew up in an orphanage and found out that his dad never married his mother, who passed away 10 years ago. Jong-doo is worried about his grandsons not wanting to attend his wedding because he needs to choose a successor for Hanuel Group. Jong-doo thinks that if all the cousins stay together, it will help him understand who deserves the company. While Si-woo stays busy as a famous rock star, Hyun-min is busy playing around with women's feelings. Jong-doo is happy about his wedding to Madame Ji Hwa-ja, but she seems to be plotting something. Hyun-min has no interest in attending his grandpa's wedding. He still wants to have fun and promises to ask out the first girl who walks in as his date for the wedding. When Ha-won enters wearing a raincoat to deliver pizzas, the guys who ordered them start making fun of her looks. He watches Ha-won beating all of them up. Hyun-min is more determined to take her to the wedding. Yoo-na gets rejected from the last college she applied to. Even if her mother spent so much money on prep schools, she still hasn't been able to meet and seduce her idol, Hyun-min. They're both jealous when Ha-won gets accepted into the University of Education to become a teacher. It's something her mom always wanted. Ha-won assures them that she has saved enough money for the initial deposit and will pay the rest with her part-time jobs. Jong-doo and Lee find that the butler at Hanul house has been tied up by his grandsons. He's tired of them rebelling and wants to hire someone who can knock some sense into them. When Ha-won finally saves up 4 million won for college, Hyun-min turns up at the convenience store where she works and asks her to attend a party with him. Hye-ji is unable to get material for a dress she wants, so she offers to organize the vendor's place in exchange for the fabric. Ji-woon turns up at the convenience store too, and Ha-won doesn't recognize him. He makes her heat up a lot of food, but excuses himself to check on his colleagues at the garage. He overhears them discussing how he is spending the money he got from his grandpa uselessly instead of helping them. He is distracted when Ha-won finds him again and asks him to pay for the food. She doesn't believe that he has money to pay the next day and keeps insisting. On the anniversary of her mom's passing, Ha-won learns that the crematorium has moved her mom's urn to the storage. The payment on the space has been overdue for 5 years. When she's arguing with the man in charge, Ji-woon turns up to pay respects to his mom. He watches Ha-won crying on the floor with white roses. She remembers her mom mentioning that she should always give white roses to people she respects. Her mom also asked her to become a well-respected teacher one day. Ha-won cries in the rain and wonders if she should use the money she saved for college to get the urn. She still needs 1 million won more, so she desperately agrees to Hyun-min's offer to accompany him. Hyun-min asks her to pretend to be his fiancé. The chairman's wedding is all over the news, and everyone is wondering if all the Kang cousins will turn up. Hyun-min brings Ha-won to a dressing room. Hye-ji wonders which girl he brought with him, but Hyun-min asks her to stop obsessing over him. Ha-won starts changing without knowing that Si-woo is in the room, who hides behind the bed. As Jong-doo walks with Ji Hwa-ja, Hyun-min also walks towards the stage with Ha-won in a white dress. He suddenly informs her that they're also getting married. She realizes that he's trying to prove something to his grandpa, who looks unhappy. Hyun-min introduces Ha-won as his fiancé, but she keeps feeling nervous about how rude he is. She twists his arm and makes him apologize to Jong-doo. Ha-won walks out and doesn't care about her payment, but she gets stopped by Si-woo, Ji-woon, and Hye-ji. Ji-woon doesn't like that Ha-won is hurting Hye-ji and accuses her of being there for money. When Ji-woon calls Ha-won desperate, Hyun-min steps in to defend her. Ji-woon still keeps threatening Ha-won and asks her to stay away from Hyun-min. Ha-won feels humiliated and hands over her dress to Hyun-min before she walks away in the rain. Ji-woon doesn't understand why Hye-ji still feels heartbroken over Hyun-min when he has always been horrible to her. Jong-do sets up an arranged marriage for Hyun-min and forces him to go if he wants to be the heir of Hanul Group. Jong-do remembers how well Ha-won tackled the boys at the wedding and asks Lee to check her background. Without Hyun-min's money, Ha-won is back to square one and requests Soo-kyung to pay her tuition fee for the first semester of college. She gets offended and accuses Ha-won of trying to steal Yuna's tuition fee. Soo-kyung learns that her husband is coming home and pretends she's treating Ha-won well. Lee explains to Jong-do that Ha-won has over 10 part-time jobs. Her father is a truck driver who keeps traveling and only visits the house every few months. After learning about her struggles, Jong-do thinks someone mature like her is perfect to handle his spoiled grandsons. After paying the crematorium for the urn and the space, Ha-won is left with almost no money in her account. She decides she can attend college next year after saving up the same amount of money she did that year. When she tries to text her dad, she realizes she took someone else's phone. Lee takes Ha-won to meet Jong-do, who also quotes Sun Tzu's teachings like her mom used to. Lee shows her a presentation of Hanul House, where the 3 grandsons live. Jong-do asks Ha-won if she would be interested in making her grandsons decent human beings by staying in the house. He has come up with a program with missions for her to execute in 3 months. In exchange, he offers to pay her entire college tuition and even fund her studies abroad. He knows he can change her life, but Ha-won refuses to take on such an impossible task. After that, Jong-do is more determined to hire her. Hyun-min isn't interested in the woman he meets for the arranged marriage setup, so he kisses Hye-ji. She feels hurt that Hyun-min keeps using her whenever he needs without caring about her feelings. She has known him since they were kids and feels like his ugliest side is coming out. When Hyun-min is leaving the hotel, the staff hands him over Ha-won's uniform that she left behind. Someone from the media takes a picture of it. When Ha-won comes to check for her phone at the hotel, Ji-woon helps her gain entry. She doesn't find it, but Ji-woon keeps taunting her for being a gold digger. Ha-won thinks he's the real jerk for assuming things about her. Ha-won keeps calling her phone, but Siwoo, who has it, doesn't pick up since he's busy performing at a concert. Ha-won's friend doesn't understand how she could give up living at Hanul House. Ha-won refuses to be bought or get involved in their family matters. When Siwoo finally checks his phone and knows it got exchanged, he calls it. This time, Ha-won's battery runs out. Yuna and Soo-kyung can't believe it when people from the media come to their house for Ha-won, who has been recognized as the nation's jackpot girl and is rumored to be Hyun-min's fiancé. Yuna gets angry with her for stealing her man and throws her out of the house. Ji-woon's credit cards stop working because Jong-do wants him to return to Hanul House if he wants access to funds. Ha-won, who also works at a theater, sneaks into an empty movie hall. Ji-woon turns up there and asks if she has money so he can eat. She brings him to the convenience store for instant noodles. Siwoo and Ha-won finally get in touch, and he assumes she's a celebrity since her lot code is too complicated. She asks him to read her messages, and he feels bad when he looks at all the abuses from Yuna. When Ha-won finally comes to collect her phone, he realizes she is Hyun-min's fiancé. He deletes all the rude messages and claims he did it by mistake. He still informs her that her dad is visiting the house for dinner. When some reporters surround Ha-won, Hyun-min rescues her. She asks him to clear the air about their fake relationship, so he makes a call to get her name removed. Ha-won soon learns that her dad took her mom's urn from the crematorium because he can't afford to pay the remainder amount. Ji-woon gets fired from the garage because Jong-do paid his colleagues to ice him out. Ha-won confronts her dad about taking her mom's urn. He claims he doesn't want to spend so much for someone who's no longer alive and shouts at Ha-won for insisting that her stepmom mistreats her. He then reveals that she's not his biological daughter because her mother apparently had an affair with another man. Ha-won now has nowhere to go, so she accepts Jong-do's offer. Jong-do then calls the cousins home and assures them that things will change at Hanul House. They all find Ha-won standing with Lee, who asks her to remember that dating is strictly forbidden in that house. Lee informs the cousins that Ha-won will live with them on Jong-do's orders. When he mentions that dating is forbidden, they're confused about why they would date Ha-won when she is Hyun-min's fiancé. Han-min takes Lee aside and requests him to let the others think that she is his fiancée. He feels that would prevent them from flirting with her. Ji-woon claims he only came back to figure out what kind of man his dad was that he abandoned his mother. Hyun-min begs Ha-won to keep pretending to be his fiancé to stay safe in the house. She still warns him against flirting with her. That night, Ji-woon and Hyun-min decide to steer clear of each other. In the morning, Ha-won informs her best friend, Hong Ja-young, that she's staying at Hanul House and sends her a photo. She also realizes that her room is see-through and all the boys are staying next to her. When Hawon sits down for a meal, Lee informs her that no one else will join. Jongdoo's first mission is for Hawon to make his grandsons have a meal together, since they have never done that before. Yoon-gi Sang, Hawon's dad, asks Soo-kyung to make sure she doesn't let Hawon come back to the house even if she begs her to. Soon enough, Lee turns up at their place and asks for Hawon's belongings. Soo-kyung and Yoona are shocked when they learn that Chairman Kang personally asked for Hawon to stay at Hanul House. Si-woo returns the flowers Hawon got for her mom and left in the room that day. He checks up on her to ask how things are at home, because he knows her sister has been mistreating her. She still thinks her relationship with her family is better than his because they can have a meal together. Knowing that Si-woo thinks Ji-woon is their biggest problem when it comes to eating together, she follows him to the storage room. Ji-woon accuses her of trying to seduce him, so she runs out. She finds that all the stuff Lee got from her house has fallen into a nearby stream. She desperately tries to collect everything, while Hyunmin and Si-woo offer help. Ji-woon rescues her white flowers, but rudely asks her to be more careful. On Jongdoo's orders, Lee takes Hawon shopping, where Hyeji saves her from a woman trying to rip her off. She learns that Hyeji is a fashion designer who has worked hard all her life and wasn't born into money. Hawon is grateful for her help and tries to be friendly till Lee interrupts them. When he mentions that Hawon is staying at Hanul House, Hyeji feels hurt. Yoona confronts and scares Hong and finds the photo of Hawon in Hanul House. When Ji-woon confirms to Hyeji that Hawon is living at the house, she demands some answers. Hyunmin keeps texting Hawon to meet that night and turns up outside her room when she doesn't respond. He threatens to destroy her uniform and tries to kiss her. Ji-woon finds them in a compromising position and turns around on the spot so Hyeji doesn't have to see them like that. Hyunmin kisses Hawon, but it's all a dream, and he wakes up to Hawon asking him to join her for breakfast. When he had tried to kiss her last night, she attacked him and asked him to stay away. Ji-woon also convinced Hyeji that she's not in a state to confront Hyunmin yet. That morning, Hawon snatches Ji-woon's phone after a swim and asks him to come for breakfast if he wants it back. She also interrupts Si-woo's rehearsal and convinces him to join her. Hyunmin turns up first, but Si-woo is not happy that she invited him too. Ji-woon also comes looking for his phone, and all of them refuse to eat with each other. She asks Hong for help, who knows that Hawon has been given an impossible mission. Hawon plans to catch all the cousins off guard with a game. Even if she wins, they refuse to eat with each other. She then switches to Plan B, for which she has done a lot of research. She prepares their favorite dishes and attracts them with the aroma. They all come rushing out but still don't agree to eat together. She finds Ji-woon in the storage room again and asks him to seriously think about the importance of family. Meanwhile, Hyunmin easily gets bored of his date because she doesn't challenge him like Hawon does. Yoona decides to spy on Hawon and watches Hyunmin picking Hawon up in his car because he wants to help with her mission. She follows them to a store, where Hyunmin buys Hawon a lot of dresses so she can win over the boys. Ji-woon takes Hyeji out for a meal, but they bump into Hawon and Hyunmin. Hawon suggests they should all eat together, and Hyeji compliments her new dress. Hyunmin tries to make Hyeji feel bad by suggesting that she's jealous of Hawon. When Hawon drops something on her dress, Ji-woon follows her to the washroom. He calls her a gold digger again, but she holds her ground and insists that she's not shallow. Ji-woon remembers the day he came to Hanul House and was trying to figure out how he could fit in. He overheard Hyunmin's mother asking him to protect his inheritance from Ji-woon. In front of Hyeji, Hyunmin pretends that Hawon is staying with them because she's his fiancée. Hyeji feels bad and walks out. While Hyunmin taunts Ji-woon for always following Hyeji around, Ji-woon knows Hyunmin is just trying to deny that he still loves Hyeji. Ji-woon saves Hyeji from getting hit by a truck and promises to help her get rid of Hawon from Hyunmin's life. Hawon thinks Hyunmin is mean to Hyeji because he still has feelings for her. Hawon is tired of fighting with them and texts all of them to meet her in an hour for a meal. Si-woo learns that it's her birthday and ropes in Lee to help him plan a party. Ji-woon suddenly hugs Hawon and claims he wants to steal Hyunmin's fiancé. When Lee and Si-woo surprise her for her birthday, Hyunmin and Ji-woon pretend that they were acting about fighting. Hyunmin had overheard Si-woo earlier and has already bought Hawon some cosmetics he knows she likes and can't afford. Hawon is happy they're finally agreeing to eat together and takes a selfie. She then reveals that it's not her birthday. After that, Ji-woon doesn't feel obliged to stick around and leaves. Hyunmin asks Hawon to remember that Ji-woon only has feelings for Hyeji. Jongdoo is impressed that Hawon managed to get the first family photo of all the cousins. He promises to fund her entire first year of college and also gives her a bonus. The bonus amount is exactly what she needed for the payment at the crematorium, and she thanks Lee for suggesting that amount to Jong-do. After taking out a photo of his 3 sons, Jong-do happily informs them that their sons finally sat for a meal together. Soo-kyung gets Madam Ji as her client in the skin clinic and tries to ask if Ha-won is staying at the house. Ha-won happily takes the urn to the crematorium and places white flowers for her mom. She also places 1 flower in front of Ji-woon's mom's photo. Ha-won learns that the anniversary of the day all 3 of Jong-do's sons passed away is approaching. Baeolgyo, the chef, informs her that while Ji-woon's father took life, Jong-do's other sons passed away in an accident around the same time. She also learns that none of Jong-do's grandsons have ever visited the memorial. Ha-won takes it as a challenge to make sure they all attend the ceremony that year. Ha-won tries to talk about this with Ji-woon, but he takes her by surprise by cornering her in the shower. She tries to convince Siwoo to attend the memorial service, but learns that his dad wasn't treated well in the family. His grandma was not married to Jong-do, so her son was treated badly, which is why he doesn't want to go. Hyun-min also doesn't want to attend the service if his mom is there. Ha-won finds a photo of Siwoo with his dad and knows that he's writing a song for him. Ha-won gets excited to see Hyun-min's mother and goes shopping with her. She makes Ha-won carry a lot of bags and tries to pay her for her services. Hyun-min scolds Ha-won for spending time with someone like his mother and acting like a slave. Ha-won was only trying to be a good friend, but he doesn't appreciate it. Ji-woon finds Ha-won exercising because of indigestion and helps her with a needle therapy. She feels happy because no one has done this for her since her mom passed. She also discusses how much she would like to meet her real dad. They go to the convenience store for noodles again, and she wonders why Ji-woon is not curious about his dad. Siwoo has a great relationship with his mom, who wants to spend time with him. She tries to force him to go to the service with her, but he is busy with his recording that day. Hyun-min watches Ha-won coming home with Ji-woon and gets jealous. He asks Ha-won if she's flirting with Ji-woon and reminds her she can't date him. She reminds him that he refused to let her be his friend and wants some clarity about where they stand. Ji-woon remembers some aunties discussing at his mom's funeral that his dad must have knocked her up and left her. In the middle of recording a song, Siwoo realizes he wants to attend the service. Hyun-min wakes up from a nightmare about the time his mom left him in Hanul House as a child, just so he could secure his position. He hears Baeolgyo muttering something about him not caring for Ha-won's feelings. She informs him about the effort Ha-won made to prepare food for this service. It's making her miss her mother, and she feels bad that the cousins are too privileged to not understand how easy they have things. Just when Ha-won has given up on the possibility of the cousins arriving, Siwoo and Hyun-min turn up for the service. Since Ji-woon is still missing, Ha-won apologizes to Jong-do for the mission being a failure. As they all attend the service, someone informs Lee that Ji-woon already came and left a flower for his dad. Hyun-min's mother seems sure that her son will be the heir of Hanul Group because his father was one before him. She seems sure Siwoo can't be the heir because his dad was an illegitimate child. Jong-do feels offended and assures her that if none of his 3 grandchildren are worthy, he'll find anyone else. Lee informs Jong-do that Ji-woon came that day without them finding out. It turns out that Ji-woon visited his mother's urn last night and took the flower Ha-won kept for her to keep in front of his dad. Ha-won still thinks she failed, so she packs her bags and leaves. Soo-kyung and Yoona turn up at Hanul House and pretend they're concerned about where Ha-won is living. Baeolgyo asks them to look around and shows them to Ha-won's room. Yoona is more interested in Hyun-min's room and gets irritated when she finds Ha-won's uniform there. She destroys it, but Lee catches her coming out of Hyun-min's room. He almost throws them out after insisting that they can't turn up without notice. Yoona writes an angry blog post about Ha-won living with the cousins and shares photos from inside the house. Ha-won asks Hong if she can stay at her place that night. Hong then asks Hyeji, who randomly walks into the cafe, to take care of her. Hyeji brings Ha-won to her house and shares that she had a brother who passed away long ago. Ha-won comes clean to Hyeji about the fact that she's not Hyun-min's fiancé and is only living at Hanul House for a job Jong-do gave her. She loves how sweet Hyeji has always been to her, and Hyeji also offers to come for her graduation ceremony the following day. Lee, who still thinks Ha-won is in the house, informs Ji-woon that Ha-won was upset when she didn't see him at the temple. Hyun-min finds out that Ha-won is graduating that day and that the uniform in his room is ruined. He runs to a store to buy one for her and asks her to wait for him. All the girls make fun of Ha-won when they read Yoona's post about her probably being Jong-do's mistress. Soo-kyung also makes fun of Ha-won's clothes and asks her not to come home. Siwoo learns that the girls from Ha-won's school plan to tease her that day. He cancels all his events to help her. Ji-woon also turns up at the school and hears some girls planning to take her down. Ha-won gets cornered by some girls in a soundproof room who try to beat her up and tease her about being Jongdoo's mistress. Just when the girls start tearing her clothes and recording it, Ji-woon beats up some guys outside the room and scares the girls. When they run out, Ji-woon covers Ha-won with his jacket since she's in shock. When he steps out with her, more guys come to fight him. Hyun-min also turns up and offers the guys his car so they leave them. All the girls start swooning over Si-woo, but he finds Hong and asks her to take him to Ha-won. Hyun-min removes Ji-woon's jacket and asks her to wear her uniform. Ha-won tries to thank Ji-woon, but Hyun-min asks him to leave. When Ha-won changes into her uniform, Hyun-min accidentally goes on air, and all the girls in the school can see him on their screens. Si-woo finds Ji-woon there and asks for Ha-won, but they all get distracted when Hyun-min turns up on their screen, and Hye-ji also joins them. Hyun-min confesses his feelings for Ha-won and claims he finds every other woman boring after meeting her. Ha-won asks him to put a stop to what they have, and Yoona can't believe that she just dumped Hyun-min. Ji-woon goes to the sound room and turns off the video, but he hears Ha-won saying that she doesn't want to be his fake fiancé anymore. Hye-ji is also outside the room and hears Hyun-min begging for a real relationship with Ha-won. After Hyun-min's confession, Ha-won asks him to truly think about how he feels about women and his family. Si-woo has trouble escaping his fans, so Hong makes him wear her uniform so he can sneak out. Lee and Si-woo are worried about Ha-won missing from the house, but Ji-woon pretends like he doesn't care. When people stare at Hyun-min weirdly, he realizes something is wrong and tries to hide his face when he checks the viral video of his confession online. Si-woo disguises himself to meet Hong at the cafe where she works. Even she doesn't know where Ha-won is. Ji-woon learns from Beolgyo that Ha-won left some white flowers for the cousins. He finds her at the convenience store, pretending to have a meal with her missing parents after graduation. He catches her in tears, but asks her to come back home to Hanul House. He convinces her by clarifying that he did visit the temple that day to place a flower for his dad. Lee and Si-woo are relieved to see her back home. Ha-won joins Si-woo when he's happily singing about her being home. She's flattered that she got almost 50 missed calls from him and teases him about posting it on social media. He praises her for the way she rejected Hyun-min and shows her the viral video. The next morning, Ji-woon and Ha-won are finally smiling at each other from their rooms. She thanks him for helping her out. Lee and Ha-won are worried about Hyun-min, who seems to be lost and sitting in the garden because he's being called a rich douchebag. Jongdoo is impressed with Ha-won's progress and thinks Ji-woon is also changing because of the flower he placed for his dad. He gifts her a vacation with anyone she wants as a reward. Soo-kyung learns that Ji Hwa-ja is planning an arranged marriage setup for someone and assumes it's for her grandsons. She saves the number from her phone so she can ensure Yoona is one of the girls. Ha-won invites Ji-woon for a trip with everyone, but he refuses. Hong hands over Ha-won's diploma to her, so she invites her for the trip too. When Hong shows her some photos of Si-woo in her uniform, she takes them. Ha-won then blackmails Si-woo's agent with the photos to ensure that his schedule is cleared for the trip. Hyun-min tries to get plastic surgery to hide his face, but the doctor recommends therapy instead. Ha-won also invites Hye-ji so that the boys agree to come. Ji-woon finds them together and refuses to fall for Ha-won's trap. Still, Hye-ji is convinced that she wants to go for this trip. Soo-kyung tries to project Yoona as the perfect arranged marriage candidate, but she doesn't have anything to offer. Gi-sung suddenly turns up at the house and asks Soo-kyung to get his bag from the truck. She finds a message on his phone and a pamphlet for a missing person and realizes that it could be Ha-won's real dad. She decides to hunt him down to demand money from him for raising Ha-won. Ji-woon finds Ha-won knocking on Hyun-min's door. He agrees to go for the trip if she somehow convinces Hyun-min. She remembers what Lee told her about Hyun-min being a deep sleeper and decides to pick him up. Hyun-min wakes up in his nightsuit on a flight and is not happy to be there against his wish. When they arrive at the Hanul vacation home, no one wants to wear Ha-won's matching jackets or follow her strict schedule. Lee tries to update Jongdoo about what everyone is doing, but he asks Lee to also enjoy this vacation. Jongdoo hasn't told anyone that he's admitted to the hospital. Ha-won pastes a schedule on everyone's door, but no one listens to her call for a house meeting. Even Si-woo, who is rarely on a vacation, doesn't want to follow her plans and just listen to his music. When Ha-won comes to Hyun-min, he teases her about asking him to figure out his feelings when she doesn't even have any dating experience. Hye-ji suddenly turns up inside the pool when Ha-won leaves and tries to remind Hyun-min of their childhood memories there. He keeps resisting her till it seems like she's drowning, and he jumps into the pool without thinking to rescue her. Ha-won remembers the picnic she had with her parents when she was a kid. Ji-woon follows her schedule and finds her feeding a horse instead of riding it. She admits that she's scared, but he forces her to ride with him. Siwoo learns from his manager that he got this vacation because of his photos. He confronts Hong about it and is mad at her. Ha-won loses her necklace with her mom's ring, so Ji-woon asks her to grant him a wish if he finds it before her. Siwoo tries to learn more about Ha-won from Hong and how she has never dated and had a very hard life. He dismisses the topic when Hong suspects he's too interested in Ha-won. Ji-woon finds Ha-won's necklace, so she just rushes over to hug him. They fall and feel weird staring into each other's eyes. Soo-kyung is disappointed when Ha-won's possible dad, Kang Yeong-jin, turns out to be a construction worker. She taunts him for having an affair with Ha-won's mom, Park Ok-seon, and asks him to at least make sure Ha-won gets out of Hanul house. Hyeji keeps trying to remind Hyun-min about their past and the bench where they wrote they love each other. He pretends to not remember or care when she shares that she came to the vacation for him. Ha-won notices how Ji-woon's expression suddenly changes around Hyeji and leaves them alone. Jong-do is changing his will and knows he needs to decide on his successor soon. Ji meets Advocate Kim right outside and tries to get friendly with him. Soo-kyung hears some gossip about Ji being married before. While looking for his phone, Ji-woon accidentally steps into the shower where Ha-won is, because of which they get embarrassed. Hong suggests that Ha-won should drink milk to calm herself, but she ends up gulping down the rice wine in a similar bottle. She gets very drunk and asks Lee to stop being formal all the time. Everyone is amused when she also scolds Siwoo for not following her schedule. She somehow convinces all of them to wear her matching jackets and gets them drunk. She plays games with them, where Siwoo finds out that she was never Hyun-min's fiancé. Lee gets too drunk and vomits all over Siwoo, after which Hong comes to check on him. She notices romantic lyrics, which seem very different from his previous lyrics, and asks him not to fall for anyone for his fans. Siwoo goes through his lyrics, which are clearly dedicated to Ha-won. Hyeji finds Hyun-min sitting on the bench she mentioned earlier. She tries to revive memories again by drawing a smiley on his hand and kissing him. He tries to push her away and claims he's still not interested. She then asks if he'll be fine with her moving on with someone else like Ji-woon. Ha-won and Ji-woon are a lot more drunk now, and he confesses his love for her. She thinks he's joking even when he kisses her. He then finishes her glass of wine and kisses her again. Ha-won wakes up with a headache and hopes that what happened with Ji-woon was a dream. When she notices the wine stain on his shirt, it's confirmed that it happened. She's so scared that she runs away and falls. Lee takes her to the hospital and gets her checked for her concussion. He asks the others to leave for Seoul without them, while he and Hong bring Ha-won back. When Ha-won wakes up, she still remembers everything that happened with Ji-woon. But this time, she has also hurt her ankle and needs to put on a cast. Back at Hanul house, Hyeji tries to talk to Hyun-min about what happened between them. He asks her to pretend like nothing happened. Ha-won is shocked to see Ji-woon first when she enters. She almost trips, and he catches her, but she hops away without her crutches. Meanwhile, Jong-do needs a liver transplant, but he refuses to let Lee inform his family. It's very tough to find a donor for him on time, and his family members are the only option. Hyeji wonders why Ha-won was avoiding Ji-woon, but he pretends nothing happened. While Hyun-min goes to buy new clothes for Ha-won, Siwoo brings her breakfast in bed. When she finally finds Ji-woon, he pretends he was too drunk to remember what happened last night. Ha-won also claims she doesn't remember anything because of the concussion. Jung-do asks Ji to buy whatever she wants, but he notices her buying a tie for him. Siwoo's manager shows him some photos the paparazzi took of him and Ha-won, which they plan to release. Siwoo refuses to worry Ha-won with a fake story and offers to give them a spicier story. Ha-won keeps remembering the kiss and feels bad that Ji-woon doesn't remember anything. She tries to spy on Ji-woon, who is pacing because he remembers the night and has some photos with Ha-won too. Siwoo finds Ha-won on the floor and helps wipe her hands. Ji-woon almost gets jealous but goes to get banana milk for Ha-won. He finds Beojo with his orange shirt and snatches it back so there's no evidence of the night. He's about to ask Ha-won to take the milk from him, but finds Hyun-min in her room with midnight snacks. Ha-won keeps wondering why Hyun-min is so mean to Hyeji when she clearly has feelings for him. She thinks Hyeji is too brave for accepting her feelings, but Hyun-min doesn't want to discuss that. Siwoo had given the media photos of his uniform instead, and it's getting a lot of positive responses. Hyeji comes to check on Ha-won and offers to wait while she washes her hair. She then steps into Hyun-min's room and finds the same photo frame she has. She desperately wants to discuss what is happening between them, but he keeps denying his feelings and is mean to her. Ji-woon finds Ha-won stuck in the shower because she fell while washing her hair. He helps her up and even washes her hair. When it's time to dry it, they both feel awkward when she touches his hand. He finds Hyeji crying outside and goes to confront Hyunmin for hurting her. Hyeji gives Ji-woon all the right to threaten Hyunmin because she's done crying for him. She wants to date Ji-woon now. Hyeji asks Ji-woon to take time to reply to her. Ha-won, who saw all this, returns Ji-woon's watch and wonders if they're dating. Ji-woon doesn't reply and goes to his room to remember the first night he met Hyeji by mistake in Hanil house. He finds her crying and asks her to crash in the storage room if she wants to cry alone. She finds him waiting outside and covers him with her jacket before leaving. Ha-won tries to figure out with Hong whether Ji-woon likes her. Hong suggests that Ji-woon hasn't accepted Hyeji's proposal yet because he likes someone else. Ha-won asks random people on the internet about this, and they suggest that a guy never gets angry at the girl he likes. After this, Ha-won does everything to annoy Ji-woon to check if he'll get mad. She throws a book at him, throws juice, and even messes up his entire garage. He comes to confront her about the garage, but she just denies it and pretends to be sick. She also shouts at him for not caring for her or bringing food when she hurt herself. Hyunmin tries to talk to Hyeji, but Ji-woon interrupts them and takes her inside the studio. Yoona suggests that Soo-kyung can use the information she has about Madam Ji's previous marriage to bond with her and become an ally. Yoona thinks this will help them get closer so she can marry a Kang cousin. Ha-won finds Hyunmin breaking Ji-woon's model car because he saw Ji-woon with Hyeji. When Ha-won wonders if any guy can like her over Hyeji, Si-woo assures her that she's much prettier than Hyeji. Ha-won thinks he's just being a good friend and doesn't realize that he's flirting. Ha-won finds out that Si-woo's new song, Confession, is releasing the following day. She begs him to sing it for her. When he looks her right in the eyes while playing that romantic song, she gets a little nervous. Hyunmin tries to tease Ji-woon about being Hyeji's second choice, but Ji-woon knows he's just jealous because he regrets letting Hyeji go. Ji-woon finally gets bakery items for Ha-won, and she enjoys them way too much. Hyunmin is not interested in a girl throwing herself at him for the first time. He can't get over Hyeji moving on from him. Ha-won asks Ji-woon to take her to her doctor's appointment, but he doesn't seem interested. On Jongdoo's instructions, Lee accompanies Ji to a gathering. It turns out to be a blind date for him, which he walks out of. No one knows that Ji is Lee's mother, and they've been pretending they don't know each other because she abandoned him 12 years ago. Ji-woon finally takes Ha-won to the appointment, but when he learns that she's well enough to run, he suggests she should go home by herself. She gets angry and walks off and forgets her bag in his car. He finds her on the road and convinces her to come back inside. He promises her a long ride and shows her places. When he steals her drink, it reminds her of the kiss, and she asks if he likes someone. They're interrupted by Hyeji's call, and Ha-won seems to understand that he has to go. She asks him to drop her on the road so he's not late for Hyeji, and he does. Hyeji informs Ji-woon that her house is getting sold in an auction, and she has nowhere to live. After ignoring Hyeji's calls all day, Hyunmin picks up his friend's call, who informs him that Hyeji's dad's company went bankrupt. He runs out and finds Ha-won, and they both watch as Ji-woon drives up to them and informs them that Hyeji will be staying with them for a while. Ha-won graciously welcomes Hyeji into her room but gets upset when Hyeji mentions how Ji-woon keeps rushing to help her whenever she needs anything. Hyunmin tries to check up on Hyeji, but she taunts him for never being there for her like Ji-woon is. Ha-won is rude to Ji-woon when he asks her to take good care of Hyeji. The whole house is quiet when Ha-won wakes up because the boys get conscious with Hyeji around. Ha-won starts wondering if she's not girly enough to make the boys nervous around her. She notices how great Hyeji looks and dresses up for the first time. When both Si-woo and Ji-woon think she looks very weird, she runs inside her room to change. Jongdoo is surprised when Ji gifts him a shirt instead of the tie she saw her buying. When Hyunmin notices that Hyeji is struggling to contact her dad, he takes help from a friend to deliver a letter from her dad to her. When Hyeji feels weird taking help from him, he gives the keys to a storage facility where Hyeji's stuff is kept to Ji-woon. He asks him not to tell Hyeji about it. Ji-woon notices Hyeji crying while reading her dad's letter. He has been jailed for embezzlement. He takes her to the storage facility the next morning. He then asks her to have the instant noodles he always has with Ha-won. Hyunmin is forced to have a meal with Ha-won because she doesn't want to eat alone. He's not happy to hear that Hyeji and Ji-woon are hanging out again. Ha-won is trying to forget Ji-woon after seeing him with Hyeji, but he apologizes for leaving her behind that day. He asks when she's free so he can tell her something and give her a gift. Ha-won tries to be nice to Hyeji and help with her laundry, but she ends up ruining her clothes. Hyeji asks her not to worry, because she plans to buy new clothes with Ji-woon later. She mentions how Ji-woon is always there for her, and suggests that he probably has feelings for her too. Jongdoo suspects that his wife is having an affair, and asks Lee to keep watch on her. Like she planned with Yoona, Soogyong tries to get on Ji's good side by informing her that some women were gossiping about her marriage. Ji gets offended and gets Soogyong fired from the job. Hyeji informs Ha-won where she's going before leaving with Ji-woon for shopping. When Ji-woon comes back for his wallet, Ha-won assumes the gift in his hand is for Hyeji. She directly asks him not to confuse her when he likes Hyeji. Kang Young-jin turns up at Hanul house and claims to be Ha-won's real dad. When he suggests that they can live together if she helps him, she asks him to leave and walks away. Ji-woon asks Hyeji if she said something to Ha-won. When he learns that she told Ha-won that he reciprocates her feelings, Ji-woon asks Hyeji to get out of the car and go shopping herself. He returns home and learns what happened with Ha-won's dad. She keeps calling Gi-sung, but he doesn't pick up. She finally picks up Ji-woon's call and cries, but her phone switches off before she can tell him where she is. Ha-won can't believe that her mother liked a man like that and cries near her urn. Ji-woon finds her at the crematorium and hugs her. He asks her to cry for as long as she wants. He thinks her situation of suddenly having a new dad is very similar to the time he found out about his dad. He asks her not to get overwhelmed or do something she's not comfortable with till she's ready. Siwoo is also concerned about Ha-won and cooks for her. Ji-woon admits to Hyeji that he has feelings for Ha-won and was only nice to Hyeji because she was the first person who opened up to him. He also knows that nothing can happen between them because he can never replace Hyunmin for her. When Ji-woon learns that Kang Young-jin wants to be there for Ha-won again, despite financial troubles, he gives him money so he can take Ha-won out to a nice place. Lee finds out that his mom has taken Jong-doo's will from Kim. She claims she's only doing it so that he gets his fair share in the company. Ha-won remembers her childhood when Young-jin stood up for her as her taekwondo teacher. She calls him to meet for dinner and excuses herself to buy clothes for him. When she gets back, she catches him going through her bag. When he insists he wants to live with her and asks her for money to buy a house, she admits that she doesn't have any. He then asks her to take help from Ji-woon and reveals that he gave him money. Ha-won comes back from dinner and scolds Ji-woon for taking pity on her. She asks him not to interfere in her personal life. Ji-woon remembers the call he got from Young-jin right before this, when he asked him to buy an apartment so he can live with Ha-won. The next morning, Ji-woon follows him to work and takes a glass he drank from. During an interview, Siwoo claims he's experiencing his first love and describes Ha-won when he talks about the woman. Yuna tries to seduce Siwoo but gets told off by him when Hong points out that she is Ha-won's evil stepsister. When Ha-won meets Young-jin again, she returns the money he paid for her mother's crematorium. When Ji-woon also comes to them with a DNA test result, Ha-won refuses to see it because she already knows he's not her dad. She trusts that her mother would never have been with someone like him. Hyunmin saves Hyeji from a horrible date because he knows Juna is dating someone else. He claims he's only interfering because she's dating horrible men after Ji-woon rejected her. When she asks him to drop her off in the middle, he drinks alcohol so he's unable to drive, and she has to drive him. Ji-woon takes Ha-won out for a ride and into a field where he gives her an empty box. He claims it has his feelings because the candies he bought on White Day have melted. He then confesses his love for her and kisses her. Ha-won and Ji-woon are happy and in love, but she learns from Hong that there are articles all over about her dating Siwoo. She assures Ji-woon that it's a rumor, but he feels jealous. When they get back to the house, Siwoo and Ha-won assure Jong-doo that nothing is happening between them. He reminds Ha-won that if she violates her contract of dating someone from Hanul House, she can never meet them again and has to leave. Ji-woon clearly opposes this kind of contract and calls Jong-doo out for trying to control everyone. Siwoo also clarifies to Hong, who was upset earlier, that he's not dating Ha-won. Ji-woon is mad at Ha-won for signing the contract and being close to Siwoo. When she points out that he also seemed to be dating Hyeji earlier, they get into a fight. Lee learns that Ji donates clothes to kids because she missed out on bonding with him. Ji-woon asks Hyeji to keep her stuff in the storage room, but also clarifies that Hyunmin cares about her and got the stuff out for her. Ji-woon apologizes to Ha-won for being rude to her when she came to the house and feels bad for overreacting about Siwoo. He holds her hand, cooks for her, and tries to be romantic when they're in the kitchen. That doesn't last long, and Ha-won forces him to hide under the table when Siwoo joins her to eat. Gi-sung finds out where Young-jin is and confronts him about his affair with Okseon. Young-jin clarifies that she was at his place when it burned because he had sold their taekwondo studio without consulting her. She passed in the fire saving a woman and had her ring. By the end of it, Gi-sung feels bad for doubting his wife and Ha-won and knows for sure that Okseon didn't cheat on him. Ji-woon shares with Ha-won that his mom was an ordinary person not fit for his dad to marry. He came to Hanul House to search for answers. Gi-sung calls her to meet and apologizes for doubting her mom. He also believes now that Soo-kyung and Yoona have been mistreating Ha-won and asks for some time to fix things at home. He confronts Yoona and Soo-kyung about mistreating Ha-won and makes them sleep in the balcony where Ha-won slept. Hyun-min remembers Jonghyun's birthday 10 years ago and how he didn't get a gift for Hye-ji because he didn't know it was her birthday too, since they were twins. He promises to get her a gift every year. On Hye-ji's birthday, she claims she's busy with friends and wants to go out. Ji gifts Lee the tie she got for him and asks him to join for dinner. Hye-ji tries to figure out if she can afford a student's hostel, and Hyun-min watches her. Jong-do finds Ji-woon and Ha-won kissing on the road and feels disappointed. When they get back to Hanul House, Ji-woon and Ha-won still can't keep their hands off each other, and Si-woo finds them hugging. He tries to hide that from Lee. Si-woo tries to ask Ha-won why she looks so happy these days, and knows she likes Ji-woon. Jong-do asks Ha-won to choose between her future and Ji-woon. He suggests that any relationship with Ji-woon will never last, and she can still get his financial support if she lets Ji-woon go. He remembers the day he fired Ji-woon's mother and her dad from Hanul House after learning that Ji-woon's dad was having an affair with her. Ji-woon's father protested, but Jong-do didn't listen. Hyun-min looks around for Hye-ji everywhere and finds her near a swing they played at. He had asked her to marry him on that swing 10 years ago. Hyun-min then confesses his feelings for her. He clarifies that he was rude to her because he was a coward and felt guilty about leaving her brother on the road when he witnessed his accident. Hye-ji is still tired of his games and suggests that they should never meet again. Jong-do notices Lee wearing the tie Ji picked out and asks him to leave. He then follows Lee to the dinner and faints when he watches Ji and Lee holding hands. Ji-woon finds a photo album of his parents in love, after which everyone learns from Lee that Jong-do has collapsed. Ha-won comes crying to Ji and blames herself for stressing Jong-do by deceiving him and dating Ji-woon. Ji treats her badly for not knowing her place. She asks Ha-won to leave the house and the boys without any word if she doesn't want everyone to know she caused Jong-do to collapse. She also asks her to make sure no one hears from her again. After Lee informs Ji-woon about the liver transplant, he waits outside. Ji claims to know why Ha-won is not picking up his calls. She explains to Ji-woon that Jong-do offered Ha-won money to stay away from him and claims that Ha-won was wise enough to take it. Lee claims to know nothing about why Jong-do collapsed in front of Hyun-min and Si-woo. Ji-woon catches Ha-won leaving the house with her bags, and she asks him to let her go because she can never be with him. He knows this is not how she feels and claims he won't see her again if she leaves like this. Ji is determined to make sure Lee takes over the company before Jong-do wakes up so she can finally be a good mom. Ji-woon finds a cafe his mother visited in 1995, so the owner shows him some notes from that year. Ji-woon finds a lot of notes from his mother, where she mentions being in love with his father. She writes about how Ji-woon seems a lot like him, and asks Ji-woon's father not to resent Jong-do for separating them. After reading that, Ji-woon gets angry at Jong-do and throws his phone on the road. Lee remembers his childhood, where his mother was beaten up by his drunken father and couldn't be there for him even if she wanted to. Hyun-min meets his designer friend, Carrie Hong, and asks him to help Hye-ji get a fashion scholarship without her knowing he did it. Hyun-min also learns that he and Si-woo aren't matches for Jong-do, and even Ha-won, who offered to donate earlier, isn't. Someone from the restaurant calls Hyun-min to pick up Jong-do's phone, and he learns that his grandpa collapsed there when Lee and Ji were already present. Gi-sang informs Ha-won that the ring she wears around her neck belongs to the son of the woman her mother was trying to save. The woman gave the ring to her so she could give it to her son. When Si-woo learns about Jong-do's phone and helps Hyun-min unlock it, he takes Hong's help to find Ha-won. He shows Ha-won some texts that she needs to show to Ji-woon. He admits that he knows about their relationship and wants to find Ji-woon. Ha-won finds Ji-woon at the garage and shows him the texts Jong-do has been sending to his late son's number ever since he found Ji-woon. He has praised the kind of person Ji-woon is in those texts. She convinces him not to hate his grandpa and to figure out what he wants to say by helping him wake up. Meanwhile, Ji transfers her shares to Lee and announces him as a new major shareholder in the company. Ji-woon finally visits Jong-do and is united with his cousins. Ji-woon gets tested to check if he's a match to be a donor for Jong-do. He shares with Ha-won that he left Hanul House when he found out that Jong-do kicked his mother out of the house, but he wants answers now, which is why he needs Jong-do to recover. While leaving the hospital, Hyun-min directly questions Ji's intentions because she has been messing with Lee. Ji-woon asks Ha-won to stay by his side because he knows her intentions are good. Ji-woon turns out to be a match for Jong-do, but is told that since he's allergic to anesthesia, he might go into shock and not wake up after the surgery. He doesn't tell anyone about this and agrees to the surgery. Ha-won visits Jongdu and assures Ji that she will leave after the surgery before either of them wakes up. Ji-woon is asked to rest, and Ha-won starts taking care of him. Hye-ji learns that Carrie is Hyunmin's friend and meets him to decline the offer. Carrie thinks there's nothing wrong with Hyunmin trying to vouch for his woman and assures Hye-ji that the offer still stands because he chose her for her talent. Hyunmin overhears Ji discussing with Kim that she wants to call a special shareholders meeting on the day of Jongdu's surgery to dismiss him from the chairman position. Hyunmin learns that Ji's stocks have been transferred to Lee like he thought and goes to threaten Lee for betraying his grandfather. When the meeting is announced, Hyunmin promises Siwoo that he'll make sure he gathers support. Hyunmin addresses the shareholders and assures them he's willing to take responsibility to save the company. Ji-woon also transfers his shares to Hyunmin. Siwoo comes to Hong for support and doesn't know why he thought of her. When Hye-ji asks Hyunmin to stop feeling guilty about her brother, he kisses her. Ji-woon discusses the night he met Ha-won at the crematorium, and they realize their mothers passed away on the same date. He wants to go on a date with her that night, so Ha-won helps him sneak out so they can watch movies. As the shareholders start voting, Jongdu and Ji-woon enter the surgery. When Ha-won is still sitting outside, she realizes something is wrong when all the doctors rush out. When Jongdu is not dismissed, Ji knows that Lee voted against taking him down. Lee insists it was the only way to stop her and doesn't regret it. Ha-won and Hyunmin learn that Ji-woon has gone into shock after the surgery, and he already knew this could happen. When Siwoo comes to see him, Ha-won discusses how lost she feels because she never imagined she might lose Ji-woon. Lee resigns from his post but admits that Ji is his mother and asks Jongdu not to be mad at her. Jongdu asks Ha-won to leave and makes her realize that she will not be able to keep choosing Ji-woon over money. Ha-won learns that her dad fell asleep behind a wheel and caused an accident, because of which the other party is demanding a 6 million won settlement. Soo-kyung begs Ha-won to somehow arrange for the money. Ha-won learns that Ji-woon has woken up, but she never enters his room. Ji signs the divorce papers but asks Jongdu not to be cruel to her son. Ha-won frees her dad from jail by paying the bail money, but Ji-woon catches them when they're heading back. He wonders why she wasn't there when he woke up, but she keeps insisting it's best if she stays away. He begs her to be with him, but she's determined to pretend like they need to be apart because she doesn't fit into his world. She also explains that his grandpa had a role in them not being together. Hyunmin is now very expressive with his love for Hye-ji and kisses her in front of everyone. Siwoo knows for sure that Ha-won feels the same way Ji-woon does for her and asks Ji-woon not to let her go so easily. Ji-woon confronts Jongdu for throwing Ha-won out, just like he did with his mother. He knows Jongdu regrets losing his son like that and begs him not to separate him from the woman he loves. Soo-gyeong and Yoona genuinely warm up to Ha-won after she saves them. Jongdu knows that Ha-won's feelings for Ji-woon are genuine and gives her permission to be with him. Hong becomes Siwoo's manager when he decides to make his schedule lighter. Jongdu gives Ji-woon his father's ring and claims his mother should have a similar one. Ji-woon remembers what Ha-won told him about her mother holding on to the same ring when she passed. Ji-woon learns that someone is looking for him and meets Gi-sung. He explains that the ring Ha-won carries belonged to Ji-woon's mother. Ji-woon remembers the little girl he bonded with at the funeral home because they lost their mothers on the same day. They both gave each other keepsakes to recognize each other years later, and he feels happy that he finally knows it was Ha-won all along. Gi-sung also calls Ha-won to inform her of whatever happened with Ji-woon. She meets Ji-woon, and they exchange the rings. While Hyunmin asks Lee to join the company again, Jongdu takes flowers for Ji to get her back into his life so he can feel happy again. Hye-ji and Hyunmin visit her brother's grave, where Hyunmin promises him that he'll let him go and start taking care of Hye-ji. They all meet for a picnic and are happy and in love.